So most of the park that I have here, a lot of it consists of the trees of various assortments. But if you go towards the center, you'll see that there's sort of like I guess you could say an oasis in a desert of trees that has an area where many people can just relax and mingle from the more chaotic, crowded environments of Comic Con that it usually is, where people can just walk around, gaze at the nature, at the flowers, hedges, and lights, and just have a relatively peaceful time. So yeah, as my role dictates, most of it is in just designing the park right now, and I'm going to be moving forward towards the ground floors of many of the buildings.
All right, thank you, Bob. So the park is really just one part of VRCC. To go into detail of the environment overall, I would like you to pass over to Jake, who is our environmental manager.
Thanks, Jimmy. Can you guys slap me a Y if you can hear me? Music to my ears. Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Jake, and I'm your friendly neighborhood environment manager. The environment team has been hard at work making this island into the amazing place that it is today. Start off with a huge shout out to Shannon for placing most of these items on here. Russell, Boss, Xiao, Mingwei for all their sweet arrangement and making this island into like just really awesome place that it is. So we're already here in the park. I'll let you guys explore around for a little bit. There's some wildlife here if you can try and find it.
Hang on for a second, could you, Jake? Everhard just told me that she's stuck.
Okay, I can post a link.
And you know what I'm wondering is if I turn the island off so they can't get in. And it's true. I turned the island off and they're not in the group.
Same thing with me. This is Val. I'm still stuck in the tunnel.
Okay, Val, you guys
good.
let me invite you to the group. So you're going to get a group invite real quick here. I also made the island public so you could walk in anyway now. So Everard, there's your invitation, and Val, right click, invite to group. So of course you know that your it's the equivalent of having alumni builders capability, okay? So Jake, you know what would have mitigated losing your audience is sure that we know where your avatar is and that I'm standing by your avatar and that you and I are both walking together.
Okay. I'm walking up next to you guys. I'm going with the glowing yellow hair.
Super. All right.
Okay. So yeah, there's a lot of airborne assets that are kind of flying around. There's some drones. Also, take note of the sci-fi fighter jet that is patrolling our skies. Our island has the post-apocalyptic alien invasion theme, if you will. And I'm going to post some links to other locations in this island that kind of showcase that theme. And we have even more these like tripod alien walkers that are like shooting lasers out, and it's super sweet. I definitely would recommend you guys checking it out.
Okay. Do you want us to go to these URLs so that we can see what you're talking about?
Yeah, let's go to the first one, the UFO one. I'll repost it so it's a clickable link.
And then make sure you find me again so that he knows that we are the cursor.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, there's a UFO hanging out over here. If you look up, you can stand in its beam. Great for photo. And
we actually
okay, it's in Second Life. I can do that.
Yeah. they're more used to Second Life than Sakoko.
Okay.
So what you want to do, Jake, is you want to make sure that they're having the experience that you think they're having.
Mm-hmm.
So you might want to say, Val and Everhart, can you stand underneath the flying saucer?
Okay. So yeah, why don't you guys go ahead and do that?
And now you know what they look like.
Mm-hmm.
And perfect time to get a picture.
Definitely. It's one for the photo album.
So, Val, can you turn around and face Jake? And you two, Everhart, and then we'll get a photo. Jake, you want to come over here and we'll be a 4 people take a photo?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Swing around here to the other side.
Hey, Val, can you kind of come in between Everhart and Jake? There you go. Get in. There you go. Get in front of. There we go. Perfect. Okay, got it. That's what you want to do, Jake, so that you can control experience and make sure that they're having fun. They get an asset out of it.
Yep, something to remember. Yeah, this is the UFO. Now we're gonna head on over to the alien invader. I'll post a link in both Coco and in Second Life. So let's head on over there.
Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I can hear myself.
Head on over here to the... Whoa, where'd it go?
Nothing like a surprise, is there?
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. My volume down because of the audio, but I'm happy to res one for you wherever you like so that the sound from it isn't normally interfering. I'll do a little
Oh, yeah, that would...
for you too, but...
that'd be awesome. Let's just go ahead and res one in right here where the group is. Yeah, there's a few across the island, as Russell pointed out in the Sakoko chat.
Yeah, that was my mistake because the audio was coming through into the celebrity sign area.
Mm.
This is why we do walkthroughs. So what is it that you want us to see? The fire?
Yeah, so you can go and
Great.
stand in the fire. There's another good photo op.
If anyone can hear me, this looks amazing in full 3D in an Oculus Rift.
I am jealous.
That was Jim who
I'm
said
recording
that.
a movie of this whole thing, and I'll
Super.
share it, and you'll be able to look at it on a Google Cardboard.
Oh, that is sweet.
So Lizelle and Everhart and whoever wants to be in the photo, actually.
Yeah, group photo time.
Yeah, so pile in, come on in. A hunk of burning love. The guy who's a skeleton.
That
Can
looks
you turn
perfect.
around? Somebody should like die on the ground. Oh, we got Spider-Man dead. Perfect.
Oh yeah, that one's built in.
This is truly incredible.
I'm posting to Facebook, so anybody who's doing that can get a photo and do some pasting.
All right. Or are people still trying to take photos? Let me know in Sakoko or Second Life chat if you still want to hang out here for a little bit to take some more pictures. If not, we can move on to the next section.
Hey Ron, turn around and
Get it
face me
close.
for a second. I'll get you.
Who?
This is Jim. Turn around and face me. I'm right behind you. Just want to see what you look like in 3D. Whoops, I overshot you. There you go. That's pretty cool. Those spikes really stick out in 3D.
Yeah,
Cool. Well, you'll be able to see yourself in
Pretty
3D in the Google Cardboard now. I'll post it later. I'll post it to Slack.
all right. Awesome. I love Val. Her hair's on fire.
Whoops, I just
Okay.
walked through jail.
All right. So there's a welcome center near the entrance of the park. I'm not going to take you there right now because there's currently nothing in it, but the idea is that we'll be showcasing various students' capstones projects that deal with VR and other related fields. My own capstone project is sponsored by the one, and it's very unfortunate that she's not here. And what my project's trying to do, and my team... my team consists of Rylan Bonavie and Andy Boydston. If any of you guys know those guys.
And he's a former student.
Yep. And we're trying to build a prototype to assist those who suffer from acrophobia, which is the fear of heights. Thanks to the wonderful virtual world of Second Life, we can do a quick little demo in world by visiting our very own glass-bottom skywalk. I'm going to throw a link there in both Sokoko and Second Life.
You're very talented. And once you get up here, move out of the way.
Yep, otherwise it's going to be an explosion of people. But yeah, so shout out to Shannon for making this a super sweet skywalk. It looks awesome.
I love the idea that it kind of dovetailed with your project too. That was just a little too good to resist.
Oh yeah. So, is it James who has the Oculus Rift on right now?
Yeah, Jim Reichert. Yeah.
Jim, sorry.
Yeah, it's creepy.
I bet this is pretty cool for you.
Cool is it's unnerving. It's perfect. Have you seen
really
this?
good-
Was your project? Were you able to view it like this? In stereoscopic 3D?
Yeah, actually, Suzette was very kind to let us borrow an Oculus Rift so we could to develop our project.
Oh my god, that is so cool that you're able to do that in class. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, honestly, and we actually right now we have two different one where you're like crossing a chasm between two different icebergs, and there's like some water and like a whale, and you're probably 30 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
And there's another experience where you're like 300 feet off the ground in snowy mountains, the wind's rushing by, and that one gets people a little freaked out. It's
Yeah, if
exactly
there were,
what we
you
wanted.
know what? You know what you need here? I know someone was working on audio. You should have someone come up here and put wind whistling, and that would add so
that
much
is
to this.
great. Oh yeah, totally. Take note, Henry. But yeah, so this is cool. And then the last thing I'm going to be taking us to tonight is a little thing outside of this main island area, but it's a pretty neat experience. I'm posting a link to it in both Sokoko and Second Life, so we can all visit there. And this is the Ocean Gate Ride, and it's kind of like an underwater exploration adventure that you can go to. So this is kind of like a little ride that people could do as they're visiting our virtual reality Comic-Con.
And for Val and Everard's sake, can you tell a little bit of history about this Ocean Gate project?
I actually don't know that much history on it.
Oh, then Mono.
Hi everyone, my name is Mano. nice to see. Uh, nice to see some. I'm really glad that you all are here. Welcome to your world. Um, Last quarter, I was working with OceanGate. It's a local company here in Everett. It was um, it wouldn't have existed if we didn't have Jim. Jim put us contact with them, and we were able to do a project for 466 using their submarine and perform different tasks. The whole project was about simulating how it would feel like being in a submarine and how it could help the world. How it could clean up the oceans by using either mendable submarines or immersible or automated submersibles. And for our project, all we had to do is we got blueprints from OceanGate. So this is a 1-to-1 ratio of their Cyclops 1 submersible. And we built it, we scripted it, and we made it work. And for the final project, at the very end when we had to present, we had this huge land that Ranch able to give us, and we transformed that land into an ocean and a dock. And we decorated the ocean with fishes and all of the sea life. And we had different tasks. We had scavenger hunt where the players had to, or the avatars had to find treasures. We also had uh, an activity where we can use the submersible to fix a broken pipe that's leaking oil. And yeah, it was a really fun project, and we're actually in contact with OceanGate to do more. Our team from last quarter are still together, and we are waiting for a reply. But we are talking to the CEO right now to do more projects for them. So, yep.
Super cool, Mono. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's also a free submarine that you can buy. Oh, well, you can get, not buy. It's this one right over here, so you can get your own submarine too.
Mono, do you have a submarine?
No, remember I made a. Well, you do have an option. You can buy the full set, or you can buy this one, the little guy. It only has 31 frames, and this one works, just not as nice.
And one more thing, Shannon saying that Mono is putting this on the market for 1,200 Linden.
Yes,
Awesome.
very soon.
Just to let you know, Val and Everard, that we try to get this class to monetize all of their ideas in this class now. Okay, Jake, do you want to wrap up and take us to the next place, or
Yeah, totally. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys right now. I'll post a link back to the park so we can get back to our world or back into our island. But yeah, that's all I had for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Now to pass it off to Henry.
before we go to Henry, Jake, can you tell us who your team members were?
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. Team members were Russell, Abbas, Shao, and Mingwei.
Thought if we get a group photo of the team members.
Sure. Do you guys want to do it in the park?
Good idea. So drop the URL and we'll meet you in the park.
Awesome. The URL should be there.
It's a group photo, so I'm not going to get in it.
So maybe do even like you would normally physically, or put a couple of people on the bench and maybe a couple to take a good photo.
Oh, that's a good idea.
There's different bench photos too, so yeah, there you
Ooh, a bench photo. I like the idea.
I am sitting on someone.
In Second Life, that's considered normal.
I love that
Hey,
gangster
Val, you want to
pose.
come over here into the flowers with me? Super. Great photo, guys.
Can I get in close for Oculus movie? Once the
Go for
pictures
it.
are taken? All right, let me see. Oh, this is cool, guys. Really neat. Whoops, my camera went hinky. Oh, nope, we're good. That looks amazing. Really amazing. All right.
Jim, I just gotta say it's funny seeing your avatar's head move around because it's just looking around. And I decided that with the Oculus Rift on, looking around.
Oh, is it doing that? Oh, I didn't realize that. That's
Yeah, it's
cool.
pretty
So when
cool.
I can shake my head and nodding. Am I nodding?
Yeah, you're nodding.
That's
Wow,
amazing.
wait, I want-
Wow, I can
okay.
use that to communicate better with people.
Okay.
Wow, we're solving our nonverbal communication problem like right now. That's
Right.
amazing.
Now I can just nod.
Well, Shannon, Lawrence, Jim, I'm going to get it. Well, there it is. All right. I just got a perfect shot of Jim
Is
and
that
Shannon.
mono in front of me?
Looks like I'm looking but just trying to get my camera setting.
Wow, that's cool to know that your head moves. So you're looking up.
I'm gonna
looking
head over to
that.
the seminar area where you have the stage and the audience area, all decorated in the American flag. But I think it would be really cool to capture that
Okay.
in the movie. So I'm gonna head out. Whee!
Wow, audio time with that. I gotta use that piece of video somewhere.
You guys are doing your job, and this is exactly what the spring show is going to be like. You want to have activities that people engage and have fun, and then move to the next thing fairly quickly and do little shots.
Totally.
Oh wow! Jeez, I feel like I'm in this convention center.
That would be the correct answer.
In control now.
Let's pass it off to Henry to talk about all the special effects.
Thank you.
How's it going, everyone? Can you guys hear me?
Just a little bit louder, Henry.
A little bit louder. Is that any better?
Nope. Louder.
Can I take like 2 minutes to try to figure this out? Sorry about that.
Absolutely. I'll describe something to Val and to Susan. What we did is we created a management layer so that there were people, and everybody had been vetted before class one in terms of what their skill sets were and what their interests were. Some people wanted to project manage and lead teams, and what their stretch goal was. So we broke into grouping it presented now. Somebody was ahead of special effects. Somebody was ahead of the story. Somebody was ahead of development, and we used this presentation that you might see on the screen, an executive review that the manager on Tuesday, and they go over all of what their team is doing. And the team members belong to different teams. So some of them are scripters and 3D objects. So they might be on two different teams at the same time. And the managers were collected the information and the state of the union, if you will, and present that at the beginning of class on Thursday. On Thursday, we would have 1 hour for presentation, 1 hour for an activity, and then 1 hour building, so that we could ensure that we were getting production for the 3 hours, and I had to rely less on being outside of class producing and being inside of class producing. And then finally, our Sococo environment, if you look at it and scroll back inside of it, you'll see that it's built like a hierarchy system, with me being on the top as the executive producer, if you will, and then two people, one creative, one PM rooms, breakout rooms for people to specialize and meet in those areas. And this way we could always see what everybody else was doing when we were doing it. So are you ready now, Henry? At this point, Val, Henry's getting his questions at this point.
I get my mic on there. I'm not sure I have a question, but I do want to point out I think it's so cool that you are the first to bridge that gap between virtual worlds and virtual reality, because I've been seeing them as such two entirely different animals, and here you are. It makes me want to have an Oculus Rift on right now because you're kind of bridging that gap.
I
Hey, can you guys hear me now?
At Microsoft, I have been stressing the difference between VR and virtual worlds daily.
Hey guys, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Sorry about that. I just constantly have microphone problems on this computer. But anyway, to begin, my name is Henry, and for this project, I have been the special effects manager of our groups. And I would say my duties have been a lot more behind the scenes, so I wish I had more physical things to show everyone on this tour. But yeah, mostly I have been in charge of, I would say my duties have primarily consisted of ensuring that all of the ambient sound effects that we would find in our park existed and are all working. So I'm not sure if many people have been using the audio within Second Life as we've been doing this tour, but if you have, you should have been noticing quite a few sound effects throughout the world. For instance, within this park right here, we do have a couple that are just sort of like birds chirping and just sort of ambient wildlife. You can hear a couple frogs and just basic sort of nature effects like that. We tried to keep it a bit simpler and quiet in here just because it was a pretty peaceful area. Um, and then if we actually walk towards the actual entrance of the park back towards I'm not sure which corner it is. I'm a little confused because of all these trees. Yeah, right out here. Here, and we go towards the entrance of the park itself. There's a couple sound effects instances where we've just tried to increase the immersion in the whole downtown center, essentially, by just kind of adding like a couple like traffic sound effects and things like that, just to increase the ambiance. And beyond that, throughout the world, hasn't been fully developed yet. We are kind of sticking with a bit of an apocalyptic theme, as you can see from the whole War of the World aliens and the UFOs that dispersed throughout the park. Uh, so we assumed that it would be a little fitting if we had like sort of car wreckage and things like placed throughout the streets of our whole city area, just to kind of increase that bit of apocalyptic feel to that. So yeah, from there we are putting a few uh, like different sound effects based on like fire effects and things like that. But to get more specific, my team for those sound effects consisted of Martin and Russell. Those us three were in charge of creating all of the sound effects that you find within the park and the city and any indoor effects or any indoor areas of the park. So my duties were consisting of the indoor effects. So basically, wherever you go inside of a building in this park, you should be able to hear kind of like background noise that you would expect to hear in a Comic Con or a convention center. Um, it's kind of quiet on my computer, so I'm hoping it actually plays out well enough on other people's computers. I'm not 100% sure, but we just kind of wanted to basically give the feel of making our whole convention center very populated and crowded convention, I suppose. Because it's such a large world, and we do want to kind of give that feel that it's really well populated and whatnot. Um, so yeah, other than that, during his tour, actually showed some of the cool effects around the park that I did want to show people. Here's another one of those UFOs that are dispersed throughout the park. If you actually look on the exact opposite side of the park as that previous War of the Worlds tripod he showed you, there is another one as well. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of just really cool and I wish I could take credit for most of these, but uh, I would say most people within the actual uh, group, the class themselves, they've been implementing a lot of these effects themselves, and I couldn't ask for anything cooler, really. If you guys saw above the fountain that we were at, there was a really cool jet, a fighter jet that kind of just circles over everything. And like Mono was talking about earlier, we do have a couple drones that fly around the are actually live streaming everything interesting and really cool. Um, oh, that's good to know about that volume equalization. Yeah, I will work on that tonight too. I'm putting in pretty late tonight and finalizing all the sounds and everything. But yeah, other than that, all of these effects people have been implementing have been really, really cool and interesting. And because everyone else has been doing so much work, I've just been trying to work on creating a document that sort of inventories every single effect that we have in the world and in the park and everything, just as an organizational asset, I suppose. And yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I could specifically show you, but yeah, I just had a very behind the scenes job, so I'm just hoping that you guys are at least hearing some of those sound effects that are dispersed throughout the park. I did have my doubts that those volumes were loud enough to actually hear anything, so that's good to know that I can go ahead and edit that tonight. Um, Other than that, I was also in charge of the lighting effects of the park. Um, as you can see, there really isn't too much to do for the lighting effects because we just have such a well lit environment to work with, which is really great just to show off everything that we have. Um, I was talking with Ran earlier last night, and he and I were discussing about the fact that what we think would be the best thing to do during our actual spring show would be to the light timing within the park based on the actual real world timing of the Pacific Northwest. So, in that regard, it would probably be around late afternoon to sunset lighting conditions within worlds that we would actually be doing our tour and our spring show in, which should actually give a really cool, realistic feel to everything. It should give a nice, warm light to everything and feel a lot more real instead of it's sort of just if you didn't notice, everything just kind of feels unnaturally lit here. So I think those later conditions will actually help us make this world feel realistic. Um, And other than that, I don't really have much else to say. I wish I had more to show you, but I'm not 100% sure who I can hand this off to. I could hand this off to a team member if they would like to go and explain some of the things that they had gone ahead and done with, or I'm not sure.
Well, I'll help you out. If you will have your team meet me on top of the hand, and switch to midnight, we can get some photos of your team. So who is on your team? Can you say their names out loud?
Yeah, I had a pretty broad team actually. Well, specifically for sound design, Martin and Russell were the two who were helping me with that. But beyond that, Connor was also in charge of scripting and special effects things, and a lot of other people weren't even in charge of those. Implemented a lot of animation and special effects, so I kind of feel like they are considered team members of mine, and I wouldn't mind if they actually joined in on the picture. So I would say if you did implement anything or any sort of animation or special effects, please come and join us on this hand.
Okay, great. I have posted the URLs. So I have an idea how to presentation.
Okay, yeah, shoot.
So everybody, get up on get up on the hand, so we can take some photographs of you up on the hand while I explain it. Um, it's kind of hard. I think you're going to have to fly on the hand unless we can put an invisible prim. You can let me put one down. Or no, Shannon, can you do that so I can explain my idea?
Sure.
So put an invisible prim on the hand so we can sit on it. Um, Henry, what I would do is make this a more of a challenge. I would have some URLs that I would post in World. Well, let me back up. First of all, it's really important that we know who you are. And I'm the guy that's a skeleton with bones. And can you see me at this spot? And Ran or Richard, can you stand beside me right now? You've got to do that. So we're focused on you, okay?
Yeah, definitely.
And then I would have some URLs and I would get people into these different places and I would ask them, name the sounds that you can hear.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea.
And what you're looking for is the name of every sound. And you guys have a name map, right?
Yeah,
I
it's a
mean,
good
you have a map that has, in fact, if you could show it to Susan and Val, it would be great how
I,
you did sound. Um, but you could have a sound map and you could actually put that over your head, right? When you're having people look at you, like I did with the grammar police sign. And you could say, guess the sounds that are in the area. And then be prepared to give some linden to people who get all five of them.
I could do that. I like that.
And all you have to really do is just, it doesn't matter, the story behind your technical development. What happens is that you're going to get people to recognize the benefit of technical expertise by noticing those sounds. And then you could do the same thing. You could have them chain midnight, and you could have them take photos in certain buildings, just like I'm having you do with a hand right now.
Def-
Um, and then the other special effects, and again, it doesn't matter who did them. You want to take credit for all of it because you're the special effects manager. So, of course, you have several people working for you. But what you want to do is you want to be the thunder that gets us to look at the special effects. So you want to show sound, lighting by changing the time of day, and then standing us by or the cars crashing or something like that.
sure. Okay.
So do you have everybody on your hand now with pictures that you're taking of them?
Yep, think so.
Is that everybody?
Looks to be like it.
I've got five
Unless
of you
anybody
in
else
the
had
right
anything
now.
else.
Four.
So next week we're gonna make sure that everybody has signs over their head when you're presenting. So Jimmy did it with the big orange arrow above his head. We want to have that for every one of you when you're presenting.
Yeah, definitely.
There's my Facebook. What does it look like in midnight, Jim?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't have it on midnight right now. I kind of wish I did. I could probably switch it over to midnight for the movie. It looks pretty amazing, and frankly, the lighting really looks great, especially on this building with this strobing rainbow. Looks really cool. I'll switch it over now, actually, so I get some footage of it. But like the street lights and so forth look great.
You guys all-
Super. It's really a dramatic shot if you're looking at my screen through the hand and into those really bright buildings. We haven't described to you guys yet what the bright buildings are all about. But there you go, Henry. Do you see that? If you're looking at my screen, do you see that rainbow effect on the building behind us?
Yeah.
You definitely want to have people maybe even stand here on the hand and say, "Does anybody see any ordinary on the building behind us?" And then have them say it out loud.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Because I didn't even notice it ever until Jim just said so.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite feature, honestly.
And in who's ever showing Shannon's screen right now, look at how Shannon's got lighting effects in the sky that I don't have.
So as far as
Yeah, I was
special
wondering if it
effects
was like a
go,
Twilight.
we'll talk about this later as far as programming weather and background effects. So this is something that people can do on their own, but this is also something that we can program into people's base experience.
Yeah, if you're not looking at Shannon's screen now versus mine, let me put mine on.
So
And now
yeah,
you can click between Shannon's screen and my screen, and you can see that hers is just really dramatic.
and if you go ahead and look at my screen, I'll show you where to make these changes.
Oh, good.
So you can see I have my menu open now, and you can see kind of what's happening in the background here.
What menu is that?
So this is the world menu. You go all the way down to the bottom under sun. There's something called environment editor, and you got a flyout menu to the side. So
Okay.
if you can see on that where it says environment settings, any menu where bars at the top instead of one little line, you can actually tear that off. So I'm clicking and dragging, and that actually lets me rip off the little menu if you want, or you can just. But if you see here, normally this part where it says fixed sky, like it does on Rands right now, it says midnight, but this is an actual drop down, and there's all kinds of different settings in here. And so you can make the background, and this is for only you, not anybody around you, but you can make any photo that you're taking look pretty much just however you want. So there's all.
What do you have it set on to make this kind of apocalyptic sky?
The one I have is near the bottom. It's called sheer surreality, which is good times. But you have that I'll dig out that has a shot of each of these with on the same landscape so that you can compare them. So the drop down is world. If you go all the way to the bottom, it says environment editor. I'm sorry. So environment editor, and then when you click on that, it'll show you customize your environment. And under sky, there's a whole list of different things you can set.
So world, and this is what you guys want to do for our guests.